Have you ever been in a meeting, like a weekly staff meeting or a board meeting if you're on a board or some business meeting, and you're just so bored? You can't wait for the meeting to be over. If you're on Zoom, you turn off your video and your audio and you just check out. Or back when we were in person, maybe you're on your phone or you're in your head, you're planning your grocery list. Or maybe you're the facilitator of the meeting and you're really frustrated because people come late and they're glassy eyed and if you ask a question, it's just crickets. I think all too often our meetings that we spend a lot of time in are unproductive and they're boring. They're just not engaging for participants. And as a facilitator of meetings myself, I know I don't plan to have a boring meeting, but I think that we get into a rut. We get into autopilot. And so in this video, I'm going to give you 5 just really areas that you can focus on to have more engaging and actually more productive meetings. If you don't know me, my name is Brooke Carroll. I am the principal consultant and coach at AC Strategies, and I work with small schools and nonprofits around leadership and governance. I'm a former head of a school, and I have been on 6 different boards, and so I have been in those shoes. And I'm also, so now I'm a consultant, and through all of this work that I've done, I've noticed that there is a real tendency to just go on autopilot and do the same old thing in your meetings, your weekly staff meeting or your monthly board meeting, and not really pay the attention that is needed to have an engaging, productive meeting. So I've looked at the fields of psychology and looked into like theories of motivation and how we make decisions and group process and group facilitation. All of these fields really can inform how we have meetings, but we don't really pay attention too much to it. I've also just recently read this wonderful book, The Art of Gathering by Priya Parker, and she really talks about this notion of how we think about the meetings and the gatherings we have in order to make them the best that they can be. So out of all of this thinking, here are 5 areas that you can really think about. The first one is why you're having this meeting in the first place. And I know we have, we schedule regular meetings. We schedule regular staff meetings. We schedule regular board meetings, and those are important. We need those meetings. But you need to think about for each one, what's the purpose of this meeting? Why am I having this meeting? What are my motivations? What are my hopes and dreams for this gathering of this group of people? And be really clear about that. And if you can't be, maybe you shouldn't have the meeting. The second area is how do I engage my participants before the meeting? So rather than having them just walk into the meeting and have very little understanding of what your motivations and what your goals are and what you're going to accomplish in this meeting, give them that information beforehand. Perhaps give them a prompt to be thinking about or a reading or something like that so they can come prepared and they can be really ready to engage. There's a lot more you can do around preparing your participants, but that's just a little snippet. The third area is the transition into the meeting. It's almost like a bridge from before their lives before, and then they're gathering here with this particular group of people, with this particular focus. And you need to very intentionally bring them over the bridge. I know sometimes when I was used to be leading meetings, I would just jump right in. Here's our agenda. Let's go, go, go. And it's really helpful to participants if you focus them. And also, sometimes you need to acknowledge the context outside of the meeting and kind of acknowledge what's going on, maybe at a national level or local or even within your school or your organization. Acknowledge that and then say, all right, we're going to leave that outside and we're going to focus here on the meeting. So the third one is that bridge between the outside world and your meeting. The fourth area to focus on is the content itself. And how many meetings have you been in where you've just sat in a big group and everybody's considering this content and this discussion, and the extroverts and the people who are really quick processors, they're the ones who are talking, and the quieter people, the people who are more contemplative, who take a little bit more time to think through issues, they don't participate much at all. Meeting facilitators can change that dynamic, and there's all kinds of strategies that make it fun, but also make it engaging and really access all the brain power of the people in the room. So you need to think about the content and how you're going to have people engage with it. And then the fifth area is the bridge out of the meeting. How are you going to help people take what you did in that meeting and apply it outside, or go to next steps and fulfill their expectations? How are you going to help them think about what you talked about in the meeting outside? So those are 5 areas where you can really take yourself off autopilot and think about what's going to be best. What's going to be best for me? What's going to be best for the people in the meeting? And what's going to be best for our organization? And how can we maximize the brain power of the folks we have? So I hope that was helpful. I'd love to hear from you all. What other ways do you engage people in meetings? Go ahead and write in the chat. Thank you for listening. My name is Brooke Carroll. I'm with AC Strategies. Hope you have a great day.